हाँ घ्या ना. Uh, Good morning, all. Okay. So in last lecture, we have seen the triac triggering using diac. So before that, I would explain you the diac. Uh, Diac is another power device. It's a bidirectional device. Okay. Uh, so Diac is also one of the power device which is a bidirectional, so current can flow from either of direction. Now, why Diac is used here? Because the voltage required to turn on the triac that can be controlled. Even we can control the firing angle of a triac. Okay, so for proper switching of a triac, we are using here Diac. Direct DC voltage we can apply to turn on the triac, even to turn on the SCR, right? So this particular Diac, it means a diode AC switch. Sir, lecture reference below. So in this particular figure, uh, this all figure is already discussed with you. S1, that is a switch. So whenever this switch S1 turns on, your SCR turns on. So this is actually a SCR triggering using DC current. But the actual topic is triac triggering triac using diac, right? So triac is a bidirectional device. So it conducts either in direction. So Diac is connected here, so that what happens, the supply voltage EC is applied, and with that supply voltage this capacitor charges. The voltage across capacitor whenever greater than, to turn on the diac turns on, which will trigger the SCR. Now we can control the firing angle of this diac by varying the resistor VR1. Okay, Now, if the supply voltage is negative, if you are not connecting DIAC, then what happens? The voltage across this particular capacitor remains as it is. So whenever the supply voltage get reversed, the capacitor charges in reverse direction. Okay. So DIAC is turns on either for positive or negative voltage. So in negative half cycle, with the help of this DIAC, we can trigger the triac. Otherwise, triac will not trigger. So we should apply the negative supply uh, through this DIAC. So whenever the voltage is greater than the DIAC breakover voltage, if you see the characteristics of DIAC, so this VBR is a breakdown, forward breakdown voltage of a DIAC, and here it's a reverse breakdown voltage of a DIAC. So it will turn on in both direction. Once it turns on, the voltage across DIAC is very maybe a high, but is called onset voltage drop. It is not equal to 1 volt as like SCR or TRIAC other devices. So the at this particular voltage VBR, your DIAC turns on. After that, the voltage across DIAC reduces and current increases, right? So that this current may be applied to the TRIAC, and TRIAC may be turns on. So this is actually a circuit, uh, is a part of your syllabus, that is TRIAC triggering using DIAC. So this is one of the most important question. So if you see here this waveform, so triggering point, so it means that the time t1 that is required to charge the capacitor to turn on the DIAC at this particular time, after time t1, your TRIAC trigger. So this part of cycle that is flow through the load. Again, T2 in negative half cycle and so on. So this is basically output waveform of the above circuit. This particular firing angle we can control by changing the value of resistor R, right? If you increase the resistor R, the firing angle increases. If you decrease the resistor R, the firing angle decreases. Firing angle means what? The angle at which your trigger SCR or maybe a TRIAC trigger. So that angle is called as a firing angle. So time T1 in this figure is the alpha, that is a firing angle, and the time from T1 to 180 is your conduction angle, that is a beta. So that is shown here positive. This part TRIAC conducts. So this is a basically called as a conduction angle. Okay. So this firing angle, it means where to turn on the TRIAC we can control by simply varying the value of this resistor R. Okay, R1. If you change the value of VR1, then definitely the time required to charge the capacitor to the voltage that is required to turn on DIAC. Okay, once DIAC turns on, it will trigger the TIAC. But the firing angle you can control simply by varying the value of VR1. Okay, so this circuit we have seen in the last lecture. So we have seen two different circuits for SCR triggering. One that is by using UJT, then TRIAC triggering using DIAC. Now the gate drive circuit for MOSFET and IGBT, the both drive circuits use maybe the same circuits are used to trigger the MOSFET as well as IGBT. So I'll just explain you here the gate drive circuit for MOSFET. But if suppose the question will ask an examination for IGBT, so you can explain the same circuit, just simply replace MOSFET with a IGBT. Okay. So remaining is same. So MOSFET gate drive and IGBT gate drive circuits are same. Uh, SCR triggering is accomplished with the help of various methods. One method we have seen, that is UJT triggering. Then second one is direct DC voltage. You can even trigger SCR by using AC voltage. You can trigger SCR by using high temperature, that is called radiation. You can trigger SCR by using light, that is called as light activated SCR. Okay, so light activated SCR can be used to trigger the SCR. So there are various methods, but mostly the UJT or microprocessor based triggering circuits are preferred in converter or inverter circuits. For a single SCR or maybe for two SCRs, we can use maybe UJT triggering circuit, right? But if the number of devices in a circuit is more, then definitely precise triggering pulses with the proper firing angle is required. So that time we prefer microprocessor or microcontroller based triggering circuit. Okay, so this is the about MOSFET gate drive circuit. See, now I just want to explain you some basic things. See, MOSFET gate drive circuit. MOSFET basically is a metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. So there will be a gate capacitance, then drain capacitance, and source capacitance, right? So already we have seen the switching characteristics of a MOSFET. So in that switching characteristics, we know that the on time, off time of MOSFET is strongly depends on these capacitors. Okay, so we will see how to increase the switching time for MOSFET after this base drive circuits or gate drive circuits. So this is a basic base drive circuit. See, it's a base. It is called base drive because the same circuit is used for MOSFET as well as for IGBT. So base and gate both are the same. You just change the name here. That is a gate drive circuit for MOSFET or base drive circuit for maybe a other devices, right? So base drive or gate drive circuits are same. Uh, as already we discussed many times, the gate drive circuits. I again explain you what is the necessity of gate drive circuits. See, devices are triggered with the help of a gate signal, right? Now the gate signal may be either direct DC current, maybe AC current, or maybe a different methods you can use to turn on the devices. But the important thing is that to turn on the device in a proper way and uh, to control the firing angle. Both are important. Even switching speed of a device should be proper, or maybe a as maybe a good as possible. Okay, so switching time maybe on plus off time, if it is less than 100 nanosecond, then we can say that the switching speed of device is good, right? So MOSFET definitely having a good switching speed as compared to the SCR or other devices, but still we can increase the switching speed by adding some components. But before to explain that, we will see this drive circuit. If you see the drive circuit, it consists of R1, R2. Only two resistors, an input cycle or input pulse is given, right? This is actually a voltage divider circuit. So whatever the voltage across R2, that will be applied to the gate of MOSFET, right? Another diode is connected that is parallel to the or maybe between drain and source. It is simply connected for protection purpose. So resistor R1 and R2 forms a driver voltage driver circuit. If you see here, MOSFET gate resistor, an appropriate resistor value should be selected because it affects the switching speed and therefore the switching losses of MOSFET. As your switching speed decreases, the losses increase, right? A gate voltage sufficiently higher than VTH to turn on the MOSFET and a gate voltage sufficiently lower than VTH to turn it off. A drive capability to sufficiently charge the input capacitor. So the input voltage that is applied to the gate of MOSFET should be sufficiently large. If the VTH of a MOSFET is a 3 volt and if you are applying 2 volt as a gate voltage, this device never turns on, right? So as per the statement, a gate voltage is sufficiently higher than VTH to turn on the MOSFET, right? So if your VTH value is 10 volt or maybe a 5 volt, so you should apply at least more than of that. Otherwise, this device will never turns on, right? Second thing, a drive and gate voltage sufficiently lower than VTH to turn off. So turn off, if you want to turn off the MOSFET, the gate voltage should be less than VTH. Otherwise, if you keep continuously on, maybe applying a 5 volt and if VTH is 4 volt, your MOSFET is continuously on. It never turns off. So to turn off MOSFET, you should minimize or decrease the voltage, gate voltage, which should be less than VTH. Otherwise, this device never turns off. So both things are important. If you want to turn on the device, then applied gate voltage should be greater than VTH. And if you turn off the device, the applied voltage should be less than VTH. Otherwise, your device will never turns on. Then another resistor that is called R2, resistor to reduce the gate source voltage to 0 volt when the input signal is open circuited. So this is actually a voltage divider. So voltage across this R2 actually applied between gate and source, because the one terminal of R2 and one terminal of MOSFET both are connected to the ground. So actually voltage across this R2 is applied to the gate of MOSFET. If you see in this circuit, nothing is there. Okay, just arrangements are given R1, R2. Select the proper values so that the switching speed should not be less. Then the value of R2 is selected in such a way that the voltage across R2 should be greater than VTH, so that your MOSFET may be turns on, right? Now, why these R1, R2s are connected? Simply to protect your device goes into the saturation, right? If your MOSFET goes into the saturation, it means that that device is in a linear region, that is the saturation region. So to protect your device to goes into the saturation, we require these components, and that connected is here. So if you see the gate drive circuit, nothing is there. Only gate pulse is applied. These two resistors will satisfy the conditions which are required to turn on the MOSFET with a low switching, maybe with a low turn on and turn off time. It means high switching speed. Okay. So this is a very simple circuit. There are some disadvantages of this circuit. So the second circuit, that is directly microcontroller, MCU, microcontroller unit is used. So you can directly apply 3.3 volt as output of that microcontroller, connect to the gate of MOSFET, and you can directly apply the timing signal so that you can turn on and turn off the MOSFET in a proper way, right? So directly you can use microprocessor or microcontroller. MCU is a microcontroller unit. The output of this MCU is a 3.3 volt. So the VTH of this MOSFET should be less than of 3.3 volt. Otherwise, this MOSFET will never turn on with the help of MCU. So the MOSFET used in this circuit having a VTH less than 3.3 volt. Again, this particular MOSFET is used to drive the relay circuitry. So diode is connected for protection of MOSFET. This particular resistor, load resistor, again diode connected again for protection, and the output is given to the relay. So this particular circuit uses MCU, that is called logic drive, with a 3.3 volt. Now 3.3 volt is not sufficient every time, right? So gate drive circuit should be that is called driven voltage conversion. Voltage should be increased to the level required to drive the MOSFET. So this is again MCU. Input cycle is given to the MCU. The output of MCU is 3.3 volt. That is given to the MOSFET. Then there will be a VDD2 15 volt. This resistor R2. So what happens with the help of this first MOSFET having maybe a VTH less than of 3 volt, but the second MOSFET, actual MOSFET, which is used in a power circuit, is having maybe a higher VTH, right? So such type of voltage boosting is required. So that is accomplished in this particular circuit. If you see the first part in this circuit, the first part, which includes MCU, the input cycle, maybe 5 volt logic circuit or logic voltage is applied. So output of this circuit may be a 5 volt. The 5 volt is sufficient to drive the first MOSFET. If you see the MOSFET connected to the R1 in your circuit diagram, so this MOSFET having a lower VTH, so it may be turns on at this 5 volt, but the second MOSFET, that is maybe a connected in your figure. If you see the cursor position, second MOSFET with a connected diode for protection. So that MOSFET is maybe a larger VTH, that is maybe greater than a 5 volt. So we required some boosting, right? So again, what happens if you apply voltage here? This MOSFET will turns on. When this will turns on, the current flow through this, and whenever this MOSFET is in off condition, that time the 15 volt is applied to the gate of this second MOSFET. So conversion to the voltage that turns on the MOSFET. If you see the written statement in a block, first one 5 volt digital logic or microcontroller output, and second one conversion to the voltage that turns on the MOSFET. So if the VTH of a MOSFET is higher, if it is greater than 5 volt, then definitely you cannot drive that MOSFET directly with the help of MCU or a microprocessor. So we required some boosting, voltage boosting. So that is accomplished here with the help of this particular circuit. So first MOSFET used in this circuit is a switching or maybe a small power device, a simply switching device. So if the input is positive, then output of this MCU is negative. If it is negative, this first MOSFET is remains off. If this first MOSFET is off, then the voltage or current ID flows from resistor R2 to the resistor R3 and applied to the gate of second MOSFET. Okay, and that voltage is definitely equal to 15. But again, when to apply the gate voltage is controlled with the help of this MC. Okay, or maybe applied input voltage. If input is absent, then it will maybe turns off. If input is negative, then this MOSFET 1 is turns on. That time the gate voltage applied to the MOSFET 2 is equal to 0. Right? So here the first part up to the VDD, register R2 and MOSFET, that is maybe a driver circuit, and second one combination of R2, R3 is actual driver circuit for the power MOSFET. Okay, so such type of voltage boosting is required if the VTH of a MOSFET is higher than 5 volt, right? Your microprocessor circuit or microcontroller circuit produces output up to the maximum 5 volt, even MCU having output up to only 3.3 volt. And if you are using a power MOSFET with a higher VTH, then definitely with the help of that MCU or microprocessor, your MOSFET never turns on. So to turn on the MOSFET, we should apply the voltage higher so that your MOSFET turns on. Okay. So this is a drive voltage conversion. So the main purpose of this circuit is if the VTH of a MOSFET is greater than 5 volt, you cannot directly drive that MOSFET with the help of microprocessor or microcontroller. So in that situation, you require such type of circuit, right? The figure name is drive voltage conversion. So this figure or this circuit converts 5 volt into 15 volt and then applied to the gate of MOSFET, right? So simply boosting of voltage is required if the VTH of the power MOSFET is greater than 5 volt. So this is another circuit required. Again, it has some disadvantages. So next circuit, that is totem pole gate drive circuit. I'll explain you totem pole gate drive circuit. This is why this circuit is used. But before that, I'll just explain you this one, the middle part, MOSFET gate drive circuit for with fast switch on. Okay. So if you see the previous circuit, this first one and this circuit, okay, fast switch on MOSFET switching circuit. So again here two resistors RS and RG. So in that figure there are a resistor called R1 and R2. Just the notations are different, but one additional part called as RC, capacitor and resistor, which are added in this circuit so that the switching time of a MOSFET increases. Okay, so on switch on time increases. How it increases, that we will see. So MOSFET is a voltage control device and has a high input impedance and very low gate leakage. The switch on time of a MOSFET is depends on its time constant and external capacitance, whereby the time constant is a function of switch on channel, then gate capacitance, drain capacitance. Already many times we discussed the switching characteristics of these devices. Power devices will affect by the depletion capacitances or maybe called junction capacitances. So in this particular MOSFET, there are total 3 capacitances. One is gate capacitance, second one is a drain capacitance, third one is a source capacitance. So these 3 capacitances definitely affect the working of MOSFET, but it's called as a switching speed, right? If we connect one additional resistor that is connected here and capacitor, so that we can increase the switching speed of a MOSFET. Okay, so how it increases, what happens exactly when you apply input signal initially, so change in input from 0 to 5 volt. See, the input is a square wave, or you can say pulse. So when you apply or you need change the input signal from 0 to 1, that time the capacitive reactance is equal to 0, right? Because capacitive reactance is 0 at high frequency. So when signal changes from 0 to 5 volt, that is a very high change. So that time this capacitor C acts as a short circuit. So total pulse immediately applied to the gate of transistor. Even another advantage, there will be a gate capacitance and this capacitance, both are connected in series, right? So if you select the capacitor C with a lower value, right? So charging time of capacitance reduces. How? Because if you connect capacitance in series, that is C1 and C2 in series, so it will be C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2, right? So that is actually a series combination of capacitance, right? As like a parallel combination of resistor, we know that everyone might learn in EDC. If you connect two resistors in parallel, right? So the parallel combination of that resistors is equal to the lower value of resistor, right? You can calculate at your home. If you select the resistor R1 equal to 1K, R2 equal to 10K, and if you take the parallel combination, it will be a 0.99 something kilo ohm. So approximately 1 kilo ohm. Similarly, when you connect two capacitances in series, so series combination of capacitance is equal to C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2, right? So the overall capacitance is equal to the low value of capacitor, right? So if you select the proper value of this capacitor, the gate capacitance, effect of gate capacitance or charging time of gate capacitance is reduces, so that the rise time is reduces, right? So if you connect this capacitance, which is in series with the gate capacitance, so that the series combination of these two capacitance reduces the actual value of capacitance, so that the time required to charge the capacitor reduces, and ultimately the on time of this particular device reduces, right? So this capacitor, if you connect, the switch on time of a MOSFET reduces, okay? Switch on time of a MOSFET reduces. Actually rise time is reduces, okay? Because rise time is a time that is required to increase the current from 10% to 19% of the maximum, and basically it is a gate charging current. So if the gate charging time, if you reduce by connecting one capacitor with a low value of capacitor, the value of this capacitor C is a low. So this capacitor, if we connect, automatically the gate charging time reduces. It means your rise time reduces. If rise time reduces, then the overall on time is reduces. See the equation which is given here. IG, the switch on time of MOSFET, can be reduced by connecting the RC circuit as shown in figure to improve the charge time. When the gate voltage VG is just connected, the initial gate current is equal to VG by RS. See, why? Because the capacitor is short circuited. The capacitor C is short circuited. So initial current IG equal to VG by RS. Okay. So overall effect of capacitor, that is C and gate capacitance, both is reduced. Sometimes the value of that capacitance is equal to 0, so that the on time immediately turns on your MOSFET. So it may be very small if we connect the capacitor in series. After that, in a steady state, the voltage, that is called VGS, voltage between gate and source, equal to RG divided by RS plus R plus RG, right? So once the device turns on, after that steady state gate to source voltage, when your device is in on state, that time the voltage VGS is equal to RG into applied VG divided by total resistance RS plus R plus RG, right? So only for initial time, IG equal to VG by RS, okay? But after that, the once your device turns on, the steady state voltage is equal to RGVG divided by RS plus R plus RG. So this capacitor C is used to increase the on time, sorry, to increase the switching speed. It means to decrease the on time of uh, switching, switching time or on time of MOSFET, right? Simply connecting this C, the rise time is reduced. So overall on time, that is equal to TD plus TR is reduced, right? If time required to turn on the device is reduced, it means that the switching speed is good, okay? So this is the one of the method. Again, there is a problem in this particular circuit, so that the second circuit is given. But before that, we'll see here. In order to achieve the switching time, that is total on plus off time below 100 nanosecond, which shall mean small time constant, the gate drive circuit ought to have a low output impedance. This is another important concept, right? Normally, MOSFET having maybe a higher output impedance, that is a disadvantage. Definitely MOSFET having very high input impedance, which is advantageous, but output impedance is also high. So output impedance is high, it means that the turn off time is high, okay? So turn off time, if you want to reduce, then we have to make some arrangement, okay? Dear students, if you are understanding what I am telling you, to turn on, to reduce the turn on time, we are adding capacitor C and resistor R, right, to the gate drive circuit. And because of this arrangement, the on time reduces. But at the same time, if you connect the only reduce the on time and keep off time as it is, still the total overall time, switching time of MOSFET is still large, right? So we have to reduce the output or maybe a turn off time also. Again, turn off time is also depends upon the capacitance, that is a TD delay, and maybe a fault time, right? So fault time is depends upon maybe a heavy resistance, channel resistance of that device, that is called output resistance, okay? So output resistance of a MOSFET is larger, that is disadvantage for MOSFET. So if we reduce the output resistance, then definitely the off time also reduces, right? So if on time reduce, off time reduce, it means the total time, switching time is reduced. So we can say the switching speed is good, okay? So the arrangement that is given here, a totem pole design, also called as a push-pull arrangement. So the totem pole design structure as shown in figure next can achieve these requirements. The totem pole is designed with two bipolar transistors, BJT, connected in common drain configuration that has a low output impedance and reasonable high source and sink current to control N-channel MOSFET. See, the important thing is that if you connect the BJT and with the totem pole configuration, the overall output impedance is decreases. If you remember, you have learned the class A, class B, class AB, class C amplifier. I think you might have learned in the second year. I don't know, the syllabus was maybe same or change for second year EDC. But if you have learned that uh, push-pull amplifier, so there is an advantage of push-pull amplifier. It has very high input impedance and very low output impedance, because in push-pull amplifier, maybe even you know that op-amp, everyone might have learned op-amp in second year. So op-amp has an advantage, that is high input impedance, because of uh, at the input side there will be a differential amplifier with high input impedance, and at the output side symmetrical push-pull amplifier is used, whose output impedance is very low. That is the advantage of push-pull amplifier, called totem pole design or a structure. So it has a very low output impedance, so that in given circuit, if you see here, this particular circuit consists of one comparator, the totem pole called as a push-pull arrangement, and then a MOSFET, okay? So that the output impedance of this particular totem pole is a very small, so that the gate drive circuit which is given to the MOSFET is definitely having low turn off time, okay? So this comparator, this capacitor C, and these two transistors, one is NPN, another is the PNP. So once NPN is on, it will turns off the PNP. When PNP is on, it will turns off the NPN. So that is called basically push-pull. One will turns on, push into the on, another will pull, that is into the turns off. When the second one is on, then first will be turns off. It depends upon the output of comparator. If output of comparator is more positive, then NPN transistor is turns on. If it is more negative, then PNP transistor will turns on. So it is depends upon that. So this arrangement, totem pole gate drive circuit, the arrangement basically the basis of BJTs are controlled by the output of comparator, whereby the output of comparator is depends on the gate voltage of N-channel MOSFET and input voltage V. The feedback capacitor C regulate the rise time and fall time. See, this capacitor will regulate the rise time and fall time of a gate voltage. Thus, it controls the rate of rise time and fall time of the drain current of a MOSFET. So that you can control the on time, or you can maybe minimize the on time as well as minimize the off time. So overall, switching speed of a MOSFET increases. It means the turn on time, turn off time, both are less. It means that the device switching time is less. So we can say the switching speed is good. Okay. So that is given here. When output switches from low voltage to high voltage, the output at the gate of MOSFET is switched to high voltage rapidly because of low output impedance of NPN, BGT and capacitor value. So with the help of this circuitry, what happens? Because of the output impedance of NPN and PNP, both are the BJTs. So these BJTs, the output of this BJT, NPN and PNP is output impedance of these two transistors is less. So either NPN is on or PNP is on. The output impedance is less. So what happens? Immediately the gate drive, or maybe the transistor MOSFET is drive into the on state because very low output impedance. So if impedance is low, definitely the current will increases fastly and your device turns on fastly. So again, rise time is controlled with the help of this capacitor. Again, this capacitor is same as this capacitor connected in this previous circuit. So working of this capacitor and this capacitor is same because it is also connected into the between the gate and comparator input. Okay. Another input is a Vin. So according to the applied input voltage, this Vin is actually a gate voltage we are applying. So with the help of this gate voltage, we can turn on either NPN or PNP transistor depending upon your gate current. If gate voltage is positive, then the transistor NPN maybe turns on because the connected input is to the inverting input terminal. So a PNP transistor turns on. So automatically the output resistance, output impedance of PNP is very small. So MOSFET, that MOSFET will turns on fastly. See, just this totem pole structure is added. This is the modified diagram of this previous circuit. Okay, in this circuit, the resistor RG again, the turn on time is depends upon the capacitor and RG. So we cannot remove the RG from this circuit, otherwise this device will never turn on. And the value of RG cannot be minimized, maybe beyond the prescribed or maybe defined value, right? So this RG will affect the on time of your MOSFET. So this RG is reduced by connecting the transistors. So that RG is nothing but the resistance and the transistor whose output impedance is also a resistance. So if we connect the transistor, so output impedance of transistor is very low, BJT. So it is definitely less than RG. So if it is less than RG, the turn on time of this particular device again reduces, right? So that is advantageous. So the on time as well as off time of your MOSFET can be controlled with the help of this particular arrangement